Whiskey Couyons. Got another whiskey review tonight. Tonight we got a bourbon. Blue Note. Juke joint whiskey. Uncut. Straight bourbon whiskey. This one's barreled at 118.6 proof. Out of barrel number 16993. Distilled in Kentucky, but bottled by BR Distilling Company in Memphis, Tennessee. So, a little story behind Blue Note Juke Joint Whiskey. At least the uncut versions. There was a barrel collapse in Kentucky where this was distilled at from a rickhouse. They say from a tornado had destroyed a rickhouse. All the barrels were exposed to the elements, and they took the uncut barrels and made them into bottles. And they say all of these uncut bottles were surviving whiskey from the barrel collapse. This one, it's uncut. It's a minimum of 3 years old. Not a bad whiskey. So fresh pop right off the bat. This bottle's got a lot of oxygen in it now. We're on the very bottom of the bottle, so I figured it was it was a good time to review it. But fresh pop, a lot of alcohol astringency. Huge alcohol burn for 118 proof. Now, coming from a Scotch guy, I've had a lot of whiskeys. Scotch wise, Scotch in general is lower proof. The bourbons that I like are high proof. Elijah Craig barrel proof, Rare Breed, Larceny barrel proof. I like barrel proof bourbon. And this one being 118 proof, not a huge proof, but it's very alcohol forward for the proof it is. On fresh pop, they say a Kentucky hug. This felt like a Kentucky forest fire going down. It was hot as shit. Since then, though, when it got to 50%, it mellowed out a little bit with oxygen. Now we're down to the very bottom of the bottle. It's mellowed out a lot. And it's probably actually a sweet spot, the bottle in this one. That's where this one is, actually. I've seen other reviews where it wasn't as hot, but this one is really hot at 118 proof. On the nose, it's still very alcohol forward for the bourbon. You still have a very present alcohol astringency. Once you get past that, there's a caramel. Dark fruit, but almost the dark fruit would be like a Luden's cherry dark fruit, almost like a little cough suppressant, and even a little nuttiness to it. A very slight nuttiness, not quite. I don't know where this was distilled at in Kentucky. Not quite Jim Beam nuttiness, but nuttiness nonetheless. You know what I mean? It doesn't have like the fresh shelled peanuts nuttiness like Jim Beam products do. But just a little nuttiness. So on the taste, let's try it out. The burn's there. The burn carries on. So, on the taste, You get that burn immediately, that alcohol astringency. Once that goes away, you do get the cherry, dark fruit, even a raspberry in there. It's like a cherry, dark fruit, raspberry. The nuttiness is not there with the taste as you get with the nose. But it's like a herbal cherry. You get like a medicinal herbal Luden's cough suppressant cherry. But that alcohol astringency is there on the nose, it's there on the taste. I don't get a nutty quality though, but the caramel is nice. It's a good caramel flavor. Herbal quality. Do get the raspberry with that dark fruit. The mouth feels, it's not bad, but with that, the flavor falls off quick. It's not much of a finish. The finish falls off quick, and I think that has a lot to do with the 3 years old, the minimum 3 years age. I've never had the 9 year Blue Note or the 17 year, but I think that would benefit this just being a little bit older. I think it would mature a little bit better in the barrel with the 9 year or the 17 year. I think it would be a lot better. I think that's where it takes a hit, is the age on this. Let's get another taste on it. A little light oak at the end with some spice. You get some cinnamon, even a little nutmeg on the end, but light oak, some spice. It comes on in the end, on the finish, but the finish doesn't last long. It drops off quick. Flavor's gone already. But the notes aren't bad. Once you get past that immediate alcohol astringency, it's not bad on the flavor. But I think with an older whiskey, it would linger a little longer. It would add a little complexity to it, because most of the flavors on this is very like elementary bourbon. It's a typical bourbon. You get your dark fruits, you get your cherry, you get your caramel. And the herbal notes are a little surprise, and you don't get much of the nuttiness on the taste, but the finish just kind of falls off. So on the mark, whiskey mark, on the overall whiskey mark on it, I would give this a 5.2 out of 10. Definitely not one of my favorite whiskeys. That herbal note is a little off-putting, I think, in a bourbon, where in a scotch, some of the herbal notes kind of transform into just great flavors. This is it almost leaves like a unpleasant bitterness in the whiskey, but I think the alcohol-forward astringency just kind of gives it, with that bitterness, just gives it an unpleasant flavor. That's just me personally. I know I've seen other people that love this whiskey. I've heard great reviews. Just personally, I don't think it's for me. 5.2 out of 10. That's being generous. But still, I've had worse whiskeys. It's not terrible. So that's Juke Joint Blue Note whiskey. I really would like to try an older version of this, honestly. I think it would be better with a little bit more age to it. But I appreciate it for them, putting it out at a higher proof. I just wish that the higher proof is a little bit more age. Anyway, on another note, John from the Whiskey Couyons, he's focusing more on TikTok, and I want to give a shout out to John. He is operating on TikTok at Bourbon Battle Buddies on TikTok. So people in the bourbon TikTok community, if you're into TikTok, go check out John on Bourbon TikTok at Bourbon Battle Buddies. So John's gonna be doing his thing. Me and Ron still make videos. I'm sure John will join us here and there. Like I said, I'll be coming down to Louisiana in November. Hopefully, John will join us on a whiskey night. With everybody's like work schedules, it's kind of crazy getting everybody together. But we did get some samples out. John sent some samples to me. I sent some samples his way. We'll probably get together on TikTok as a live just to kind of check out those whiskeys here and there. But yeah, that's about it. Like I said, we're on Facebook. If you like our content, we got more content we're going to put out. I've got more scotches. We've got Japanese whiskey, bourbons. We've got more whiskeys, reviews to put out. If you like what you see, check us out. Give us a like. Hit that subscribe button if it's something you like. You know what I mean? But that's it. Whiskey Couyons. Check us out, guys.